5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're in. All right, here we go, chat. Race is starting. Our racers are underway. Okay, so tell me about the vehicle variety here. We see a lot of Fat Shark. I see Captain Falcon. I see Deathborn and Zoda. So let's go down the list and show me, why are people picking these vehicles?
So usually this is actually one of those interesting tracks where you kind of have the option to choose between Gallon Star G4, which is pretty much the optimal machine for most of the courses in the game, but Fat Shark is very strong at various courses. But this is actually one of the few tracks where either one is viable for, at least in terms of the world record, but I feel like it's always better to choose a vehicle that you're comfortable with, since that's the one you tend to play better with. But there's a lot of different vehicles that you can choose from, and Zoda is a very strong pick here, so I'm not surprised they're sticking with that one. But there's a lot of different vehicles you can use for this, and a lot of other tracks too. But Gallon Star G4 and Fat Shark is definitely the way to go if you can handle it. Very high learning curve for sure, and Double Branch is one of those tracks where you know, it takes a long time to get good at this track, and we're already seeing some crazy stuff going on. mifuyu wasting no time, just absolutely doing crazy stuff right now. So.
Yeah, let's take a look. So, explain to me what makes mifuyu so strong. Like what techniques is she going for that other players typically don't?
So mifuyu has really great fundamentals in pretty much every single aspect of the game. Great shift boosting, great MTS chaining, really knows the in-depth structure and the course layouts, and just a very strong understanding of how to optimize, you know, racing lines and energy management and everything that you need in order to be successful in this game, and set very strong times. As we see, even this month she set at least a couple world records. So right now you saw that she's been doing some quick turns through the zippers. That takes a lot of skill to be able to do that. And you know, wow, side tuck in the air, MTS, it's already finished. mifuyu is already finished. Followed up by vSAM, honestly not too far behind, which shows that Fat Shark is definitely a viable option, and got Oval and Emarcee finishing pretty much neck and neck. Wow, that was pretty close.
What a race. That was very tight. Oh, but we got the players in the pack also finishing now. It's like MelloMath and Dante catching up now. Dante sticking it out with Deathborn. We got a little bit of I should say snarkiness from the competitors when Dante revealed that they were gonna pick Deathborn. Why is Deathborn not a strong character in this game? Particularly his machine.
Well, unfortunately, with Deathborn, if you've raced against him in Chapter 8 of the story mode, he actually is really good in that chapter. But unfortunately, he has a stat that only a few characters have in this game, and it is drag. And the drag really nerfs his ability to be able to go fast on a lot of tracks, because it does have great weight, which is pretty much most likely the most important stat in the game. But unfortunately for Deathborn, his drag really prevents him from being able to set very strong times on most of the courses. So he can still be good, especially with side attacks. He can actually set some relatively strong times, but his drag just really holds him back from being one of the higher tier vehicles in the game.
The fact that this is not ordered, but this is our leaderboard as it currently stands. Okay, it's not in ordered, but it's close. Figuring that out in a second here. But mifuyu is on top. Unreal, Oval, top 3. Emarcee, top 4. Not far behind is Cebiko, Mello, and Dante. We'll see how they clean things up for the next few races. That one was a very difficult track, chat. 3 laps. So 3 laps is pretty terrifying because if they lower the number of laps, the harder the track is. I don't make the rules. Or maybe I do. I don't know. Okay, all right. So, but our next track is actually 10 laps, chat. And this one's, you're going to probably laugh, Niko. But our next track is Sonic Oval.
Oh, yeah.
Sonic Oval. Mute City Sonic Oval.
It's a good thing I'm not in the first group because I found out 15 minutes before we were supposed to actually start that I did not have Sonic Oval on my Wii GX GameCube, so I had to snake in order to get Sonic Oval. But this is gonna there's gonna be some close finishes here. I can imagine there is a lot of wiggle room when it comes to close finishes on this track. So we're gonna see a lot of heavy MTS chaining here, a lot of boosting. It's gonna be a lot of NASCAR here. So a NASCAR track.
4, 3, 2, 1, and here we go.
All right. Oddly enough, Mute City Sonic Oval is also another one of those tracks where the majority of the very high level runs tend to be between the Black Bull and Quickstar G4. G4 having a very specific niche in terms of tracks that have a lot of wide turns or just a lot of turns in general. But for here, Black Bull is very good because of his weight. He can get he can gain a lot of speed from his weight. And because of how short the track is, he can set some very strong times in terms of MTS training. But the explosive finish is because of his weight, he can rack up in crazy speed going for the explosive finish. But we're already seeing people getting close to the 4th lap. And there's just so much boosting. You pretty much see everybody at the same time just boosting constantly.
Yeah, this track is super short. And that's hence the 10 laps. You mentioned Black Bull. I remember playing Black Bull for the first time and seeing his boost stat be E and thinking, man, this character must be pretty poo-poo garbage at going fast. But apparently, with MTS chaining, you can do pretty much anything, right? Well, not anything, but like you can make a vehicle with little boost do a lot more, especially with those hidden attributes in this game. I talked to Oval, and Oval told me that the stats are a lie in this game. Do you know anything about that?
Well, I do know that they kind of just carried over the stat letters from X, and there's only a handful of machines in the game that actually have the true stats that actually show up in the game. And I know one of those being Red Gazelle, another one being Twin Norita, and there's might be a couple of more, but the rest of the staff have at least one that is just completely false in their stats. And we see mifuyu already finished. Not too surprised, but seeing that a Black Bull being the best vehicle on this track, it's not too surprising. But wow, we just saw 2 other finishes at the same time.
They're so evenly matched. This game is so skill-based. You can really see this skill gaps in real time. If they're close, it's a close race. And chat, look at that. Our race is over. And, well, actually, oh my gosh. Okay, I for some reason I thought Dante was right at the end there, but he's still boosting. Yeah, that's that Deathborn. The Deathborn weight not really working out for him. Or grip, I should say. All right, and that's our race. We're going to go ahead and screenshot that real quick. Once Dante gets...
Sam and Oval well, finished neck and neck. Those guys are, I would say, are about the same skill as each other, and I'm not surprised at all. That was a great race between them two.
Oh yeah, I mean they're having neck and neck races every race. It almost feels like this is going to be a little bit telling of what's to come later in the bracket. They're too strong, but they're neck and neck. So it'll be interesting to see them if they make it to knockout tour, whether or not their elimination races are going to be tight.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I think that's when we're going to see some really spectacular finishes. It's really there's really a lot going on, so you kind of have to watch. You only have really time to watch a few seconds of each player, but they're putting in a lot of hard work right now, so it's great to see that.
Yeah. So our next track is terrifying, and it's terrifying because it goes up in a ball of flames. It is Cylinder Knot Firefield. And yeah, tell me about this track that I hated racing on in Grand Prix.
Okay, so notorious for one of the most controversial tracks in the game. Cylinder Knot definitely has one of those love-hate relationships, especially when it comes to the very high skilled players and just casual people who play this game. Cylinder Knot, some people like myself who aren't necessarily the biggest fan of cylinder tracks, but there is a lot of things to be explored, and some of the more optimized runs on this track, you will see generally some really cool stuff out of this track. So I wouldn't knock it. It's actually one of the more interesting cylinder tracks, I feel like. It is a little boring, and boost management is very important because there's only one energy strip. So seeing how people approach this, and Fat Shark being the most preferred choice for this track, it's going to be very interesting seeing how people race this. It's gonna be a fun one.
Do you think we're gonna get a rare mifuyu falling off, where we're gonna see good players use their restores?
Well, it's always possible. My experience with cylinders, at least in this game, is that it's actually relatively hard to fall off the track because the gravity on cylinder tracks is actually very strong. So you can be going very fast and still not fall off the course unless unless something weird happens. But overall, I mean, there's plenty of tricks that you can use to go faster on this track. So it's just a matter of course familiarity. Obviously, that's important on all the tracks, but in terms of this track, there's actually some things that you can. There might be some techniques that are we haven't seen from other players. So. It's just a matter of how hard you're willing to push it.
Oh no, okay. You know what? Just we're just going in. We're just going in. Screw it, chat. We're just going in. All right, here we go. Lap 1, no boost start. It's all about the yellow boost pads and keeping that grip on the track. I guess lap 1 is technically the easiest because you don't have boost power, so you're not going that additional burst of speed. You don't accidentally mistime it. This one's definitely a track knowledge map more than at pretty much every level of play, rather than just top level.
Yeah, knowing where all the zippers are, being able to take those bumps properly. There is hidden shift boost spots, and if you have the right technique, you can hit those and gain a lot of speed. It's just a matter of how you manage it, and energy management is also important because there are certain spots that you can go faster. But if you don't drive properly, you could lose all your speed and you could lose a lot of time. So you really gotta be able to know where you want to boost and be able to drive the track accordingly. So it's got its challenges for sure. I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of the track for a long time, but once you start playing this at a higher level, this has a little more. This track really has a little more to it than you might expect.
Heard. Yeah. Honestly, I think the players are doing a very good job. I'm pretty impressed with the lack of restores being used. We have restore on, even though we could have ran this tournament as a time attack, tournament. But if you fall off in a time attack, that's it. That's your run. And maybe that anxiety might be worth a tournament bracket. But this time we have a good mix of players, so having restore means that you will return to the track if you fall off. Of course, it does ruin your time and your leaderboard placement if your opponents are not doing the same. But yeah, now we're deep into lap 3 now. You can see even mifuyu going airborne there. Going airborne on this track, you have to be very used to it. And oh my gosh, yeah, players, they're actually doing fine, honestly. I would probably make last in this race, chat. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have fallen off way too many times. Okay, let's see here. Emarcee. Oh my gosh, Emarcee literally clutching up over vSAM and Oval this time. This track actually slipping up the second and third placers. Let's see. And Cebiko as well. So now we're neck and neck with Mello and Dante. Let's see if Dante can clutch up. It looks like Mello just passed. And now Dante on the Deathborn. This is Deathborn's hometown, right? Like, don't you race against him in the story mode on something similar to this?
Yeah, it's actually in the game files. It actually falls under the category of Firefall, but it's pretty much its own stage. I would consider it a separate venue because it's the underworld, but it definitely fits the theme for sure. So it's a great looking track for sure, especially on the GameCube. I'm surprised it doesn't drop frames.
Yeah, I heard that, right? Okay, all right. Let's we got a screenshot for this one. If I can find where I posted it. We'll get that to the players.
Yes.
Placement swaps, guys. Yes, this is a skill-based game, but track by track, you take it line by line, you might actually sneak in there and qualify for Knockout Tour. Do you see what the track is? Because I definitely did.
I definitely saw what track it is.
So unlucky. What is going on?
We are going all around the world.
Right,
we
chat.
have a different flavor each round.
Yeah. So our next track is Port Town Long Pipe from the Sapphire Cup. It is a 3-lap track. Yeah, you heard it here. 3 laps again, which means it is another very, I'd say, more difficult on average track. Usually if it's less laps, then it means that each lap is longer, which means there's probably going to be more turns and gimmicks to the track. And this one, as you can see, there is no stranger to that. We've got elevation. We've got tight turns. You're going to be flipped upside down. Sonic would be so proud. Tell me more about the track.
So this is actually interesting because it seems like every race now we've had a different kind of course. We had a very long course, track type with double branches. Then we had a short track type, which was oval. Then we had a cylinder track for a cylinder now. And now we have a pipe course, which you go inside the cylinder, which is long pipe. And long pipe is notorious because it, for some people who are relatively new to the game, you can actually get a little bit dizzy playing on this course, give you a little bit of vertigo. It's hard getting used to this at first, having all that speed inside the cylinder, but seeing high level play in this course is an absolute treat, because this course takes a lot of optimization to get it just right. So it's just, and we're pretty much gonna see all across the board Fat Shark. There's probably some other vehicles that you could work with and definitely make happen, but Fat Shark is pretty much head and shoulders above the rest of the vehicles in this game when it comes to long pipe specifically. But it's cool that we're getting to see a different course type this fourth round here.
Yeah, it has that windmill section. So you talked about like the vertigo section, right, where you go into the tunnel and then it just kind of like wiggles vertically. And your vehicle goes up, down, up, down. I guess these are stairs now. And then even after that, like it twists. So if you're looking at the mini map, you'll see that you'll have to make a left turn, but it doesn't look like that. And if you don't make that left turn, your vehicle still looks like it's going straight, but that pipe is twisting. So it's a little vertigo heavy. I will say that this track probably won't make it into another F-Zero game. I agree with me. All right, here we go. Our race is beginning, and let's see how they deal with that vertigo.
Yeah, there's a lot to keep in mind. You gotta be able to navigate the inside, be able to hit all the dash plates. The three big dives in the middle of the track. If not hitting the spinning windmills is kind of is kind of a big thing that'll destroy your time for sure. And then also navigating that weird bump towards the end where you go through that small opening, you can lose a lot of time there if you don't hit it just right. And then you gotta navigate the obstacles at the end. So this track is relatively easy to drive on, but then when you put all the obstacles together, it's actually a little more harder than it looks. So
you can tell that Sega was having a little bit too much fun with this, and they didn't feel like quality assuring it. And it's fine because there's 26 tracks in the game, but yeah, there are missions even in the story mode where you have to avoid walls that show up as you're going through a half pipe, right? And if you don't get through those walls or know where those walls are coming up, then you crash, you don't make it in time. This track basically makes use of that while also having twists and turns and bumps along the way. And really, it just boils down to you knowing where those boost pads are and not letting the track affect you. It seems like everyone is doing okay, right? We've got no one like crashing into walls directly. I did see a restart from Oval, so like I don't know if he just started late or something, but we'll get that sorted out, of course. It looks like mifuyu is finished. Mifuyu and Sam were neck and neck. Oh my gosh.
mifuyu was matrix dodging those obstacles at the end of the course, and it was just genuinely spectacular to see that, because that's hard to get down consistently. But that was a really great showing. I guess they started a little differently because it looks like the time is off.
Oh yeah, way off. That's probably on us. So I'll just chalk it up to we just didn't get the timer communicated properly, which is fine, or something on our end. We'll just let the players get through it and let them claim their times. Let's see here. We've got Dante completing his final lap. And time. There it is.
Here we go.
Okay. So our next track is Green Plant Intersection. So this one, I did race on, and it's in one of the earlier Grand Prix. It's in Emerald Cup, and though this one looks very friendly and easy on the eyes, shockingly, there are a couple of very odd depth planes near the mid and end of the track that if you take a certain speed, you legitimately will fly off the course. So what can you tell me about Green Plant, Niko?
Well, I can definitely tell you a few things about this. This is one of my favorite tracks of the game. I put a lot of time in this track. Definitely a lot of fun once you start getting a lot better at the game. And one of the things that stands out the most about this track, it's one of the few tracks that actually is a hybrid, so half of it being an actual track and the other half being a pipe. And the high level runs that you see include a little mixture of everything. It really takes a lot to be able to play this course properly, but you can definitely do some cool stuff if you know how to maneuver it properly.
All right, looks like we're getting to our countdown. Just waiting for the players. Oh, it looks like someone already started. They're starting now?
Yeah.
It looks like everyone's just gonna run it. They're just gonna run it. Let's just run it.
All right, alrighty, we are off to the races. Somebody started extra early, but we're just gonna roll with it.
Yeah, let's just let it rock. Anyway, enough about us. Let's look at some Green Plant. We see a good assortment of Fat Shark. You mentioned Fat Shark earlier being good on those long straight paths. We're gonna see mifuyu here, just like great control over those like weird wiggle half pipe moments, and then calmly taking those boost pads. It's really honestly, I've never truly watched a good player like handle those half pipes as well. But mifuyu obviously showing us how it's done. Lap 1 is always interesting because a lot of the tech is like absent lap 1, and then you start getting into boost power, and now all of a sudden we've got MTs, we've got sliding, snaking if it was a thing in this tournament, and so on.
Yeah, it's this track, you got pretty much everything. You got quick turning, you got energy management, you got the zippers, you got shift boost on the track, and there's shift boost off the track, and you got a pipe, you got the track, you got trying not to fall off the track at the end, trying not to hit the course or walls, and there's a I mean, it looks normal on the surface, but there is this track can be very sneaky. But it's definitely challenging. But if you can master it, especially those shift boost chains in the tunnel, it is extremely satisfying, and you can sip some very impressive times on this track if you can get everything to line up right. And vSAM, wow, that was a great MTS into the boost into the. Yeah, he was going like 1700 into the pit zone. That was freaking awesome. And mifuyu trying to get all those shift boost chains, and it will gets all the shift boost
perfection.
Oh, wow,
She's
that is such a hard
perfection.
thing to do. It's hard enough to get all the shift boost chains on one lap, let alone all of them. She didn't get all of them on the first lap, but yeah, being able to just get any just feels good because you just get so much speed from it. And this is Fat Shark is the way to go on this track for sure. There's not too many vehicles that can really compete on this track, but everyone else seems like they're handling the track and the cylinder pretty well. So we'll see how this shapes out here.
Yeah, honestly, I might have been one of the more unlucky players because when I first raced on this track, I found about 3 different ways to die. But I don't think our players are struggling as bad as I was at all, actually. And as we see, vSAM and mifuyu neck and neck. Oh my gosh, I want to see what those times look like. But still, everyone else still racing. Looks like Oval's very close now. Oh, Oval messing up.
Unfortunately, botches the rail slide.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I saw a little bit of me in there.
Wow.
I did that literally on stream. You know he's not happy about that. But Oval literally still getting 3rd place. Nothing to sneeze at, honestly. Now here's the rest of our racers. Cebiko. Oh, getting airborne there with Zoda. Okay, getting there. Finish. And now we're back. Oh, Dante retired. Oh my god. I didn't realize you could retire. Oh my god.
Well, I think that was our first retire of the stream.
I legitimately did not realize that you could retire.
I mean, if you don't handle that turn right, it'll fling you off for sure. So that's a great shot of the tree. I love that shot. Really puts it into perspective.
Dude, oh my gosh. Yeah, you're right. What the heck? Is that? Oh, because he died, it flipped over. That's why it's upside down. Physics. All right, chat. That was race number 5. Give it up for our racers, chat. And we're going to tally the points real quick and get you that leaderboard. But honestly, chat, if you have clap emotes, drop them in the chat. Drop them in the comments. That was a great first round. I know it took us a little bit to get going, but I'm sure the players enjoyed themselves. But let's take a look. So there are point totals. And if you look there, you'll see a 2nd place from Oval.
Wow.
Somehow barely getting more points than Unreal. If you think of the race distribution, Unreal actually was looking very strong. Got 2nd place on race 1 and 2. But then somehow getting 3rd, and 4th, and that was barely less consistent than Oval. As you see the 6-point differential, crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be close between those two, but I didn't know it was going to be that close. What an absolute treasure Oval is, being able to get right behind mifuyu, which I can't say I'm too surprised, but obviously great players are going to do great things. So this is just really great to see.